Okay, cool. Put this away. Nice. So yeah, I was 6 years old, and it was the end of term play, and my school took this very, very seriously. It wasn't just 1 or 2 nights, it was the whole week and the weekend, so 8 performances. And for the end of term, it was chosen that it would be Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. For those of you who don't know, that is the story of Joseph from the book of Genesis in the Bible, revamped as a musical by Andrew Lloyd Webber to make him something of a fashion victim. And it's also a story about attempted fratricide, slavery, and famine for kids. Yay! And that, yeah, so there we go. And the way that they did the audition process was insane. They hauled us into the gymnasium, and we all of my year sat in front of the drama teacher and the English teacher, Mrs. Dennis and Mrs. Bolton. And they had the cast list, and they were essentially going down from biggest role to the smallest speaking part. And they would say, okay, give a small description of the character, and then people would put their hands up saying, me, I want to play it, me. And it was a cacophony of voices. It was so much noise, people putting their hands up, I want to play it. And the way they picked the actors was essentially by going, no, not you, dear. We'll find you a better role. I don't know about you, Alex. No, you'll do better. Mr. Harris, is Alex's voice good? Yeah, no, it's good. We'll get you in the show. And my hands were firmly nailed to the ground. I wanted to be third Ishmaelite from the left. A tree would have been fine. Grass, fine. Anything. I just didn't want to be in this show. And it's worth saying now that until I was 8 years old, I went to an all-boys school. And in this show, there is only one female role. Yeah, great. And it was quite high up on the list. It's Mrs. Potiphar, the wife of a rich Egyptian who essentially enslaves Joseph and makes a pass at him. And when he doesn't retaliate, then he gets chucked into jail. So essentially a cheating harpy. And no one, not a soul, put their hands up, because no 6-year-old boy wanted to dress up as a girl. And I found this really, really funny. And because suddenly there was peace and quiet, and before I knew what I'd done, my hand shot to the ceiling, saying, I'll do it. And this was met with laughter and cheers and a thank you from the drama teacher, Mrs. Dennis. And both Mrs. Dennis and Mrs. Bolton took me under their wing afterwards and said, don't worry, David, it'll be fine. And true to their word, it was. They got me this amazing Egyptian dress that was golden and the shoulder pads. It was incredible. I had a wig as well, this Egyptian wig, with little bits on the end, so every time I kind of did a neck movement, I'd get hit with it was disastrous. But one thing in particular about this costume and about this role was, and I'm sorry for my language here, the use of a metric shit ton of makeup. So much eyeliner and everything, it looked like I had a stroke, and a lot of lipstick as well. And miraculously it worked. On stage it worked. I did what I had to do. I was told how to move my hips, just so, strutting along, and how to flirt with Joseph. And it went so well that on the second night, Mrs. Bolton gave me some extra jewellery to put on, just so I could strut up. And on the third night, I got into trouble because I looked during this whole thing like the bastard love child of Nefertiti and Elizabeth Taylor. And essentially, I thought something was missing. So on the third night, I added extra padding just so I had Nefertitis. But everything was going really, really well, but during this whole run of shows, something was not right. My lips were on fire. And I'm not just talking, on fire. No, just they were really physically hurting. And I didn't know what was going on. And I didn't tell anyone because I thought, oh my God, if I say there's a workplace injury, they're going to bench me and somebody else is going to take that role, and that role was mine. And I needed to play that role. And so it started off with a bit of a rash, and it got larger and larger, but to the extent that by the final performance, my lips were twice the volume. And it looked like I'd essentially gone method and injected Botox just so, to make my feminine wiles look a little bit better. And by the bows on the last night, I was in tears. I had tears in my eyes. I couldn't stop crying. And when I was ushered back to the dressing room to get undressed, and my mum was there and Mrs. Bolton to take off my makeup, and I couldn't stop crying. And I don't remember this, I think I've blocked it through sheer embarrassment. But they asked me, they were just like, David, why didn't you tell us? We wouldn't have put any extra makeup. Oh my God, are you all right? What, is it painful? Is that why you're crying? And apparently what I said was, no, I'll never get to kiss a girl. Because in my 6-year-old heteronormative and very reductive brain, I knew 4 things to be true. Dogs are cool. Dinosaurs are cooler. Boys grow up to get hairy. And girls grow up to wear lipstick. And I had to be told, it's a minor allergic reaction, don't worry. I mean, you're not allergic to lipstick, you're allergic to the fact that essentially what they did was trowel on industrial amounts of lipstick to make me look like I was a prostitute that catered exclusively to clowns. Hello. So what happened afterwards was that everything was fine, and for my first kiss, it was absolutely fine, no problems. My lips remained at a human proportion. But this premiere lives on with me until today because my mum, delightful woman that she is, has photographic evidence of all of this. And essentially, she has threatened for many, many years now that if I bring a girl home, that she'll show the pictures, or that she will find the most embarrassing moment to show it to everyone. Say, if she was in the audience right now, she'd do it right now, right here, right now. So I guess what I'm saying is that I really hope that one day I get to come back on a bare stage and tell the story of another first. The first time I died of embarrassment because my mum showed a picture.